Hello, hello. This is the my artifact episode number 3524. Today's date is 7th of August 2025. It's been almost like a morning at 8:36 a.m. Okay, I am kind of like a thinking about something else, but whatever. Let's just divert your mindset from the fucked up situation and let's go through the test. Alright, yeah. Okay, I'm actually giving the psychological test. Okay, and the name of the test is a test of determine the level of empathy trend. Alright, let's start. Alright, yeah. Question: I prefer to look at portrait than poster pastoral scene. I what is the actually meaning of that? Let me understand what exactly it says. मैं देहाती दृश्यों की अपेक्षा चित्रों को देखना अधिक पसंद करता हूँ. I prefer to look at portrait than pastoral scene. I still not really understand. Right now my mind is somewhere else. पेक्षा पोर्ट्रेट पाहणे जास्त आवडते. खेळू दृश्यापेक्षा मला पोर्ट्रेट पाहणं जास्त आवडते. Do I like to see a portrait? Yeah, I like to see a portrait. Yeah, I like to see a portrait. Yeah, portrait is a kind of like a something often. Yeah, like most of the always like a portrait is a. Yeah, I like to prefer to look at portrait than, but I don't really understand the pastoral scene. Not really. What exactly is this thing? Pastoral scene. What is actually pastoral scene? Explain this. Okay, this sentence prefer to look at portrait than pastoral scene means someone like looking at the picture of the people more than picture of nature and countryside. Okay. Okay, so basically it's a kind of like a comparison between the portraits and the landscape. Okay, yeah, okay. If you don't really know, these are the term are usually for photography term. Okay, yeah. Photography portraits means like that you are taking photo of someone else very closely, like from the chest to his face and things like that. That is called portrait. And the pastoral scene means like that ki landscape, mountain, river, sunset. These are kind of like a something landscape scene. Which one would you prefer? I prefer like it's not really that key like I like this one and I don't like this one. I like portraits too, I like landscape too. Okay, yeah, but which one should I prefer? I think portrait might be really good. Okay, yeah, portrait is somewhat something good, but it just like a landscape is also really good too. Okay, yeah, it's not really that key. Landscape is, I like both. It's not, I don't really create any kind of like some opinion, but like deep down I, okay, so what kind of like value that you are getting? Okay, yeah, means like that when you see a beautiful girl photo or portrait, I feel really good. Definitely a beautiful landscape, I do feel good, but that feeling good is little bit temporary. And portrait is little bit good, so probably is this saying that I would choose to be a portrait. Yeah, I prefer to look portrait than postural scenes. So yeah, almost always, yeah, I like. Yes, next. I always forgive my parents if they are wrong. Yeah, I always, yeah, it's not really that I mean kind of like a something, I don't know, like parents are parents. One thing for sure is that if you're not really agree with those people, just do not argue. Just like yeah, just do not argue. That's the one thing that I learn, that do not argue with your parents. Nothing really at all. So I always forgive my parents even they are wrong. Yes, always, yeah. If horse behave poorly, it must be weep. Oh, that is really good. Horse means like that like a horse is not actually running the way that it should supposed to be. Then you should supposed to be whip. Whip means like that kind of like a something, uh, you have to hit by something string or leather, or was it, what exactly is this called, that is called whip. Okay, yeah. uh, so if the horse is poor behaviorly, yeah, I it's really essential to kind of like a, you must whip. Okay, yeah, it's essential because the horse will not gonna kind of like assembly work the way it should supposed to be, so you have to be whip. So almost always, yeah. When I read about dramatic event in people life, I feel as if they are happening to me. Oh, yeah. I read about dramatic event in the people life. I feel as if they are happening to me. Do I feel that way? Not really that much. Okay, yeah. Like I prefer to be kind of like a something that this is the story belongs to the other people. Okay, yeah. And I don't know, yeah. It's not really that key kind of like a something, but it's, they actually mention that na read about dramatic event. Okay, so I'm gonna explain one thing, experience one thing, yeah. That ki when I watch Harry Potter, first time I watched the Harry Potter, I feel like that ki if I've been part of that Harry Potter franchise, and if I'm kind of like a searching Horcrux with Harry Potter and Hermione Granger and Ron, it would be really amazing. I feel like that I wanted to be part of that moment. I wanted to feel like that ki that I wanted to feel like I wanted to part of those people. So when I read about dramatic event in the people life, I feel if they are happening to me, uh, oftenly, yeah, like it depends on which event was that. Harry Potter is one of that event. Then Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series. By the way, I also feel like that I should supposed to be travel with Avatar and Korra and Avatar and Katara, Sokka, Toph. Okay. Yeah, but mostly is this thing that event should supposed to be resonate with my personality. Okay, or maybe is this thing that that event should supposed to be know entirely. Okay, then I would try to kind of like put myself into that particular story, and then things would be but I don't know. Yeah, I think that often, yeah, it might be kind of like a something. It just happened with Harry Potter and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Then after that, it's nothing really at all. Yeah. About real life people, no, it's not. But I said often. Yeah. Next, parents treat their children fairly. Almost always, yeah. Like the parents are kind of like doing something right for their future, for the child future. Okay, so yeah, they are always right, they are always kind of like a children fairly. Okay, yeah, but children doesn't really think that parents are kind of like a somebody thinking fairly. Is because of the kind of like a somebody is just that uh, children are very impulsive. Okay, yeah, and they are taking decision very like a impulsive decision, but parents are think about every possible point of perspective, and they are taking the decision regarding about what makes future makes better. Example that key, if the children likes to play game on a mobile phone, then father or parents are actually taking the phone is because of that phone is not really good for the future. So basically, right? But a children point of perspective, children think that his parents are kind of like a behave like not fairly. So I think that na ki parents treat their children fairly, and I think yes, always, yeah. uh, Intervene when I see people arguing. I intervene when I see people arguing. I intervene when I intervene means like that I kind of like assembly bother when people are arguing. No, I never, like I never really kind of like being part of those people are only arguing. No, if the argument kind of like a turn it to the physical, then I try to be make sure that physical thing shouldn't supposed to be happen, like a fighting and things like that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that is like only one thing that I stop is a kind of like a physical fighting. Okay, yeah. But besides that, no, I am not really kind of like a part of the argument. No, never. I do not pay attention to my parents' bad mood. Uh, Almost always, yeah. Like basically this thing that do I pay attention to my parents' mood? Uh, Not really. Okay, because I have a lot of fucked up shit in myself, and probably I have to take care of that. Um I'm yeah, I'm being really honest. Yeah, I'm not really taking any kind of like a simply pay attention to my parents' bad mood and things like that. But I will make sure that whatever I do, whatever I kind of like a some activity that I do, it does not affect my parents. But every time I fail. Okay, yeah. So uh, I do not pay attention to my parents' bad mood. I think sometimes, yeah. Like I think some like often I do not pay any kind of like assembly attention. Yeah, often it would be really good. Next, I have been exclusively observing animal behavior for long time. Yes, always. I like to observe the animal. Okay, yeah. It's one of like I like to observe like I don't know how do I supposed to say, but I have a dog. Okay, yeah. Like I don't really have a dog. Like my sister has a dog, and basically is this thing when I'm kind of like a something eating some sort of dinner or kind of like a things. I just look at that dog and kind of like a something thinking about what that dog is actually thinking and things like that. I like to observe my dog. Okay, yeah. So yes, always, yeah, I like to exclusively observe the animal behavior for a long time. Yeah, I like to, yeah. Film and book may only favoricious people cry. Okay, how I'm not really understand what exactly it means. Let me clarify what exactly it means. That let's go to the chat GPT. Okay, this sentence, film and book make only favoricious people cry. Only people who are shallow, overall emotion, or not serious cry because of the movie. Okay, yeah. In simple word, it's saying only silly people cry at the story, but many people would disagree with this. Crying during the film or book can also show the empathy, deep feeling, or connection with the story. Oh, okay. So basically, it kind of like asking you what when you are watching any kind of like a movie or any kind of like reading a book, would you cry? Uh no, not really. Okay, I didn't really cry. Okay. Um, there is a one moment in my life that I realized that I went to watch movie named Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Okay, yeah, with all my friends. Okay, yeah, and mostly in that particular group in that particular period of time, mostly girls was there. Okay, yeah, boys from boys point of perspective, me and Vaibhav and Badal, and yeah, like we just only three boys went to the watch these Bajrangi Bhaijaan. I'm not really sure, but very less boys went there, and more and more girls went to the watch that movie. Okay, yeah. So when the emotional scene happened, like Bajrangi Bhaijaan is a very emotional movie. Okay, yeah. When the this end scene is actually happened, entire hall and theater and all those women are kind of like something crying, and we are not crying. We just looking at each other and just smiling at each other. So film and book make only favorite people cry. Like a do I kind of like a something like that ki cry? No, I never really cry. No, nothing at all. Yeah. I like to watch the facial expression and behavior of stranger. Not really. Okay, yeah. Because it kind of like a sounded like a creep. Okay, and I am not a creep. Okay, like basically is this thing looking at the stranger. It's I don't know. It's not creep actually, but it's not really good too. Yeah, why are you kind of like a looking at stranger and things like that? Huh? Unless that stranger doesn't really notice me, then it's fine. Like basically, let's just example that key. I am at little bit far away from the stranger and just kind of like some stranger doesn't really know that I was kind of like exist over there, and I'm just kind of like looking at them from the window and things like that. Then yeah, like basically is this thing that I like to watch their expression and behavior and things like that. But still, yeah, I like, sometimes I like, but if like that stranger is kind of like a something in visual peripheral view, then probably I avoid to kind of like a something look at the stranger and things like that. Yeah, it little bit kind of like a sounded little bit creep, not creep, but I don't know. Sometimes I just watch the facial expression of the behavior of strangers sometimes. Yeah. As a child, I brought cat and dog at home. Did I any kind of like a brought cat or dog? Not really. No, never. People are unreasonably embittered. Okay, what is actually embittered? I have to make sure that the stuff that I'm kind of like thinking is exactly is it or something else. लोग अनुचित रूप से कटु है. लोग विना कारण कटु आहेत. Okay, what's exactly katu? Okay, katu means like that ki upset or kind of like a something like that ki something like that ki embittered means like that ki like how do I supposed to explain? Embittered means like that ki upset, not talking to each other, just yeah, and people are like without any kind of like a reason. Okay, yeah, have you ever kind of like seen a people without any kind of like a reason being really upset? Yeah, almost. I always seen such a people. Okay, I'm not gonna mention those people, but in my life there are so many people who are just upset because of I don't know what is that reason. So yeah. Looking at the stranger, I want to guess how his life will turn out. Do I think like that way? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Okay, yeah, because basically is this thing na ki if like a okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah, if I'm looking at a particular stranger from window, that particular stranger doesn't really know that I'm looking at, then I'm kind of like then I judge that particular person from every possible point of perspective. I'm not want to be judged, but kind of like a only think that ki what could be his age, then what he was wearing, then how much he was earning, then all the possible perspective that what he went through, what is his life and things and that and that and that. Okay, yeah. I also kind of like a look at the expression, how does he interact with the people, and probably is this thing that looking at the stranger, I wanted to guess how it's turned out. Probably sometimes, yeah, I do think like that. Okay, but still I make sure that I will not in the peripheral vision of people, so peripheral vision of that stranger people. So yeah, sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Next, in childhood, children younger than me followed me at hills. Okay, followed me at hills. I'm not really sure what is exactly meaning of that. Okay, let me translate हिंदी. Okay, yeah. बचपन में मुझसे छोटे बच्चे मेरे पीछे पीछे चलते थे. बचपन में मुझसे छोटे छोटे बच्चे मेरे पीछे चलते हैं. Children younger than me followed me at hills. No, it never really happened. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it never really happened. Yeah, no, never. Next. When I see hurt animal, I try to help. Um, often I provide the help. Okay, yeah. Why? Like basically it's this thing na ki I like to help the animal, yeah, but I have to make sure that what kind of like a help that I should supposed to be do. Okay, yeah, like can I bring that animal to the hospital? No. Can I put any kind of like a some malam or any kind of like a some medicine to the hospital, medicine to the animal? No. Then what kind of like a help that I should supposed to be do? The most help that I could do is that I just give the kind of like a biscuit or kind of like a something the cookie or water or like this is the most help that I could do with that animal. Okay, yeah. But let's just say that there is a cow who actually stuck at dig, like who stuck at hole and things like that, and that cow or that animal wanted to get out. Then in that particular situation, I try to help as much as possible as I could. Okay, yeah. Uh, Also, I like basically I can't do it by myself alone. I can't kind of like let outside that goat or animal outside that hole. So probably I need a people. Yeah, definitely I need a people. Okay, yeah. But let's just say there is a kind of uh, like a little goat, okay, who's stuck at the hole. Then I would definitely help that goat. Okay, yeah. It depends on what kind of like a help should I supposed to be provide. Okay, yeah. So I see when I hurt animal, I try to help often. Yeah, often, yes. It will become easier for a person if you carefully listen to his complaint. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is true almost always. Like basically it's became very easier for a person if you are carefully listen his complaint. Yeah, I think that like basically whatever the problem that you have, if you can kind of like something look at that problem very closely, then you will definitely gonna solve that problem. Okay, yeah. So I would kind of like somebody listen that complaint carefully. Okay, yeah. But also now there is also one thing that I won't really listen other people problem and things like that. I try to avoid other people problem. Why? um okay, yeah, like you are kind of like a thinking me very wrong person, but like basically is this thing na ki I usually kind of like somebody such a person that kind of like a figure it out my own problem. Okay, figure it out, try to solve the problem by my own. Why would I supposed to be kind of like a simply look at the other problem and try to fix their problem and things like that? And also I think that now this is also really wrong way to kind of like a solve other people problem. Like a by professional point of perspective or social point of perspective, yeah, I would do. But let's just say there is a personal problem. I am not really wanted to involve in their personal life. I don't want to be know their personal problem and things like that. And definitely I will gonna not gonna solve their personal problem. Okay, also I'm talking about their personal problem. If there is a problem related with the social or environmental or any kind of like a professional, yes, I definitely solve their problem. But regarding about personal, no, this is the off limit and I am not gonna cross that boundary. So will it will become easier for person if you listen carefully the complaint. Yeah, like it is really almost always. Yeah, I try to ignore incident that happen in public. Yes, always. Yeah, like if there is a kind of like a something that ki something that ki accident happened, then probably it's really essential for me that ki let's just forget that thing and let's just move on. Let's just go do your work. Okay, yeah. Like I seen so many people who are kind of like looking at the accident site, and I don't know why does people are actually do that thing, because I don't know. Yeah, like if you're not providing any kind of like a help to that injured person, then probably you just kind of like a jamming the traffic, and that is not really good thing. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna make sure that the traffic should supposed to be released as soon as possible as I can. So I'm gonna make sure that because of me, that traffic shouldn't supposed to be happen. So I just kind of like simply move on. Yeah, it's just like, but let's just say that there is no one was there and I was the only one was there, then probably I would kind of like a something help that particular person and things like that. But this never really happened. Most of the time it actually happened with a lot of people and things like that. When there is a lot of people I just ignore. Okay, almost always. But if there is a no one was there, then I would definitely gonna give the help. Yeah. Next, younger people like it when I offer them my idea about entertainment and things to do. uh, Younger people like it when I offer them my ideas about entertainment and things to do. Wait, let me explain what exactly it mean. युवा लोगों को यह पसंद आता है कि जब मैं उन्हें मनोरंजन और करने योग्य चीज़ों के बारे में अपने विचार बताता हूँ. ओके, युवा लोगों को यह पसंद आता है कि जब मैं उन्हें मनोरंजन और करने योग्य चीज़ें के बारे में अपने विचार बताता हूँ. Younger people like when I often them ideas about entertainment and things to do. Do I like to do that? Um, Sometimes, yeah, probably. Okay, it's a kind of the question is actually about that ki you are kind of like a giving the idea regarding about how that particular thing should supposed to be enjoy even more. Okay, yeah. Do I ever kind of like a do that, give that particular advice to the someone else or younger ones? Not really, or never. Like basically, is this thing na ki like I don't know, dude. How would I supposed to like it's kind of like it will depend on that ki how much you are getting experience on that thing. Like just example, okay, yeah, that ki um that ki that ki like okay, so if I'm gonna say skydiving, okay, yeah, right now I don't really have any experience regarding about the skydiving. Okay, yeah. But if I know more about the skydiving, then I would kind of like give the advice to the people who wanted to do skydiving so that they would enjoy more. Okay, yeah. But it also depend on me na ki do I have kind of like that kind of like some expertise or not. If I don't really have that kind of like some expertise, then how would I supposed to give the kind of like something a way that they should supposed to be enjoy more? No, not definitely not. So probably is this thing that ki no, never. Okay, like till now I haven't really done that thing, so no, never. Yeah. People exaggerated the ability of pets to the feel of the mood of their owner. Okay, let me understand what exactly question says. Translate. Okay, yeah. लोग पालतू जानवरों की अपने मालिकों के मूड को महसूस करने की क्षमता को बढ़ा चढ़ाकर बताते हैं. Oh, yeah, I seen that too. Like basically is this thing that some people are really exaggerated a kind of like a things that regarding about their pets, regarding about how they feel regarding about their pets and things like that. It's not really exaggerated. like I feel exaggerated. From their point of perspective, it's normal. Like let's just say there is a guy who is kind of like obsessed with the dog and cat and things like that. Okay, yeah, and he was gonna taking care of that dog and cat regarding about every possible point of perspective. So from his point of perspective, this is kind of like something really normal. He gonna talk about how he bath that dog or cat, how he take care of that dog or cat, how he do the medicine, how he kind of like give the food to them. Yeah, if that particular person is actually talking about that particular cat and dog, I would think that you are kind of like somebody exaggerated things. Because why? Because I'm not really a dog or cat person. I'm not that any kind of like a only person. Okay, yeah. So from my point of perspective, I would kind of like a think that he just exaggerated and things like that. But his point of perspective is not. He just kind of like a somebody really loved dog and cat, and he wanted to share his thoughts regarding about me. The problem is that I am not a kind of like a simply dog or cat person, right? So so basically from my point of perspective, does people are actually over exaggerated regarding about the dog and cat, regarding about their pets? Yeah, sometimes, because I am not a dog or cat person. So yeah, almost always, yeah. All right, I should supposed to be end here. It's been almost like a 30 minute. Okay, yeah, I have a lot of things to do. So this is it. I will gonna complete this test in next artifact episode. And thank you.